Now we're going to talk about the appendicular skeleton, and the appendicular skeleton is made up of the pectoral girdle and the forelimbs and the pelvic girdle and the hind limbs. So obviously when we talk about forelimbs on a bird, they are extremely modified for flight. And one of the things they're going to do is they're going to anchor the muscles and also anchor flight feathers, designed to withstand huge forces exerted during flying. So the first of the forelimb bones that we look at just here, or just here on this limb, here and here, same thing, is the humerus, which is where the pectoralis muscle attaches, and that's the muscle that's going to depress the wing during flight. We then have a smaller ulnar and radius here and here, and here and here on this wing. And after that we have the carpals, several of which are fused with the metacarpals to form a region just here that we call the carpometacarpus. And then following that we've got our digits, the phalanges, but in the forelimb of a bird we're only going to find 1, 2, 3 digits remaining, and most of the wing is going to be this second digit just here. This gives us a rigid, very flexible unit. Obviously that's really important during flying. If we look at the pectoral girdle, we've got the usual bones. We've got the scapula, which is quite hard to see. It's back here, either here or here on the other side of the bird. It's attached onto the rib cage. It allows extensive range of wing movement, which is obviously needed for flight. And if you look at the two clavicle bones, they're fused together at the front of the bird to form this U-shaped structure down here, okay, which you would probably know as the wishbone from having eaten a chicken if you eat chicken. It's also known as the furcula, and it anchors the flight muscles and acts as a brace during flight. If we move on and look at the legs of the bird, the legs are really another part of the bird which are not modified for flying, but again for walking around on the ground. So it's really, the hind limbs are really concentrated for movement when not flying. We have a femur just here. Okay, so the first bone is the femur, which is short and robust, and that's followed by the knee. Now you won't normally see a knee in the bird because this joint is usually high up in the bird and it would be covered in feathers, so you would never notice it. And if we look at a little bit further down on the limb, this little bone just here is the fibula. It's been really reduced to a strut. And the tibia, very solid tibia just back here, and that is fused to two of the upper tarsal bones. And then lower down we've got a complete extra piece, an extra strip if you like, in the hind limb of a bird leg, and that's called the tarsometatarsus. And it's really some tarsal bones fused onto some metatarsal bones, and it creates that extra length, which is going to be excellent. It's going to give you lots of extra leverage, which is going to be really important for running, landing, and taking off. And then if we look at the phalanges, we've got 4 digits in most birds, and very often one of the digits is turned backwards to act as a prop.